Okay, so I'm setting up the way that you have to solve the problem. Now you always have to show your work in this class, and you always need to show what the numbers mean. Okay, it's not enough to put the numbers on here, the digits on here. You have to show me what the digits apply to. Okay, let me give you kind of a practical example here. How many of you raise your hand if you want 100 kicks in the seat of the pants? What? How many of you want 100 kicks in the seat of the pants? Oh, see, when I just say 100, you don't really know what it applies to, do you? You made an assumption, all right? Yeah. We want to try to be careful about assumptions in science, all right? So, just because that little pause right there, it took, you didn't quite connect. How many of you want 100 kicks in the seat of the pants? No hands. Okay, good. See, that's what you want to do is to tell me what the numbers apply to. Okay? So we want to always show units of measurement if there are any, and there almost always are in the sciences. There are some rare cases where it doesn't happen. If you know what that number and unit of measurement applies to, then you also tell me what it's called the species. Okay, you tell me what that applies to. So if we knew we were measuring out, say, a solution of iron chloride in water or something, okay, then you put FeCl3, okay, over here. You say that's what it applies to. That would be the species. We're not getting there yet. We'll get to that shortly, okay? And that's really important when we're doing a mathematical process in chemistry we call dimensional analysis. We will get there. All right, for right now, let's go on then with addition here. So we're going to add these together. And so let's see here. You can, by the way, you're required to have a calculator in this class, and you can use a calculator to do almost any of the math that we want to do in here. Okay, so 12 that's not good. 12.7 plus 0.473 plus 107. And I get 120.173. Okay. Now there are empty slots in the columns here, right? And our rule is if there are empty slots, you have to, this is the rule for addition and subtraction now, and not for other kinds of math. But for addition and subtraction, any digits that result from an empty slot in that column is insignificant. Any digit is insignificant, and it gets rounded off. So we can show the slots by simply putting arrows in those slots to help us keep up with it. And we can see that above all three of these digits, somewhere in this column, there's an empty slot. So all three of these digits get rounded off. Okay, or they're labeled insignificant by the underlining. The rounding off is shown with an arrow, and we write the answer is 120 milliliters. And we'll talk about this more later, but because I've got a 0 in the ones place, I really need a decimal place there to show that 0 is significant. Okay, if you got a significant 0 in the ones place, a decimal place here will show that 0 is significant. All right. Questions so far? Okay, so just to be clear, these are the insignificant digits, okay? And these are the significant digits in that answer, okay? So significant digits, significant digits are the digits you want to or need to keep, okay? Insignificant digits are the digits you need to eliminate to show the correct precision of the answer. Okay? And for what it's worth, your final answer in the sciences, your final answer can only be as precise as the least precise measurement in the math problem. Okay? You want to write that down? Will that help you? Your final answer can only be as precise. Your final answer can only be as precise as the least precise measurement in the problem. Your final answer can only be as precise as the least precise measurement in the problem. Your final answer can only be as precise as the least precise measurement in the problem. Okay. This is the least precise measurement in the problem. Okay? So our final answer can have no more digits to the right than this least precise measurement. So we have no more digits to the right than this one has. Does that make sense? Okay, good. All right, so problem number 2 then. I asked you to subtract 47.4 from 110.07, 110.07 grams. All these are grams. And we're going to subtract 47.4. 47.4 grams. 110.07 minus 47.4. Okay, and we get 62.67. Does that sound better? Yeah. Okay. 62.67 grams. All right. And we have one empty slot here above the 7, or between the two 7s actually. So that means this is the only insignificant digit. We're going to round off, and we're going to show it rounding off by using an arrow. And because this is a number that is 5 or larger, this digit gets rounded up. Good. So our answer then is 62.7 grams. Okay. Now it would be helpful for me so that I know what your final answer is, because some of our problems later in the semester are going to be kind of complex. You're going to have a lot of work on one paper. It'd be helpful to me if you start getting in the habit of drawing a box around your final answer, or any answer the question calls for an answer for. So sometimes you have multiple steps in solving a problem. If I say, tell me this, and tell me this, and tell me this, you want to put a box around each of those things so I can find them in a hurry. Okay? And you always show all your work. You must show all your work. Okay? Just giving me an answer to a problem, homework, classwork, tests, quizzes, just giving me the answer will result in a very small percentage of points for that problem. I need to be able to see all of your work to know that you're solving the problem in the correct way. And the reason for that is that this process all builds up. We're going to start with the simple stuff here, and we're going to use that to do the next thing, and use that, then do the next thing, and after a while we're doing some really complex problems, and it won't seem so bad because we stepped it up one step at a time. Okay? But I need to see your work, so especially if you make mistakes, I can see where your mistakes are. Okay? So let's say I have a 20, later in the semester, about halfway through, I've got a 25-point math problem. Okay? All you do is give me an answer. Okay? That's 1 point out of 25. So show me all the work so I can go back through and see you did this step right, and this step right, this step, and I can tell whether you did it, you're doing the right thing. Okay? And you're getting there the right way. It also helps you, if you get the wrong answer, you can get everything right as far as how it's set up and the solution, but you put something in the calculator wrong, your final answer was wrong. You get 24 out of 25 points. That's pretty good, huh? Okay? So you do get partial credit. It's more important to me that you learn the process at this point than to give me the final answer that's correct. Okay? By learning the process, even after this class, you can continue to use that process and practice it and get good at it and use it where you need to. Okay? All right, let's go on to problem number 3 then. And we're going to add 3 temperatures. 22.0 degrees C, 1.45 1.5 degrees C. I should have left some more space over here, so I can leave those, put the little arrows up there. And 127 degrees C. I'm going to add all these together. So 22.0 plus 1.45 plus 127. Oh, hit the wrong thing. That's a change of sign button, by the way. In case you guys don't know, that's a subtraction button. That's a change of sign button. And instead of hitting a plus, I hit the change of sign button. So I've got to do this over again. 22.0 plus 1.45 plus 127 equals or enter 173 point. That doesn't look right. It's not right, is it? Well, gracious. 22.0 plus 1.45 plus 127 equals. That looks right. Okay? 150.45. Yeah, it's also helpful as you do the math, as you look at your answer and see if the answer looks reasonable. Okay, a lot of times when you make mistakes, as I did there, pushing the wrong buttons, you can look at it and say, that doesn't quite look right, or that looks probably, that doesn't seem too far off from what I would expect. Then you know you've got a fairly reasonable answer. All right, so let's see. There's no number above this 5 here, so that's an empty slot. There are no digits here below this 4 and this 5. So that means these last 2 digits are insignificant. Okay? Round it off using an arrow to show that, and we get 150 degrees C. Again, we've got a 0 in the ones place. That's significant. We didn't round it off, so to show that that 0 in the ones place is significant, we need a decimal place right there. Okay? That's what happened up here. That's what we need here.